All right. So I look at this brand new piece of music. And first of all, I see that it has some similarities to some music that I've looked at before. If you have a look at your bookmarks, you'll see that right down at number 5 is making comparisons. Making comparisons is one of the things that's going to help me understand this piece of music. So I see some similarities. I see that it's in common or 4/4 time. Well, that's the same time signature as I'm familiar with in Jolly Old St. Nicholas that we've played, or the theme from Star Wars. So I'm seeing that there's probably some similarities there. Some other similarities that I see are that the note ranges are pretty much the same as they were in Jolly Old St. Nicholas. So not too high, not too low. It's going to be a good challenge for me. But it's different. It's not similar to power rock, which was all low notes. So it's going to be a little bit harder than power rock, I'm noticing. I'm also looking through here, and I see some new stuff that I haven't seen before. And that new stuff might pose some problems for me. Looking at my bookmark, I can see that identifying a problem is one of the things that I'm trying to figure out. So I see, for example, that I have these long lines over notes here at H and I. A lot of you will have those long lines. I have to figure out what those lines are trying to tell me. Now, they're probably not dynamic lines, I don't think, because dynamic things I'm familiar with. They'd be the fortes and the mezzo fortes. And I see a dynamic line right here, a big crescendo. So it's got to be something else. That leads me to another thing that we see on the bookmark there, fixing the problem. I don't know what those lines mean. That's my problem. How am I going to fix that? There are a number of ways I could fix that. The easiest way would be to ask my teacher. I'm not always looking for the easy way, because my teacher's already given me some tools that I know about for how I can solve my own problems. So one of the things that I could do is go to my method book, my essential elements, and look in the front or the back of essential elements where it's got a whole bunch of definitions. I could look there. That's probably where I'll look first. If I can't solve it that way, maybe I'll ask Sarah. She seems to know a lot about this kind of stuff. So I'll ask one of my friends that knows stuff about this and see if she can help me out. And then if I still am not quite getting it right, or if I'm not sure Sarah's giving me the straight dope, then I'm going to check with my teacher just to see if I'm getting it right. And I think that's going to solve the problem for me. I notice some other similarities here. I notice, for example, comparing it to some of my other pieces, it has a fermata over the last note. I know with fermata that means I'm going to have to hold that note for quite a length of time. I'm trying to remember how long. I think it depends on what kind of piece of music this is. If this is a solo piece of music, I'm going to decide myself. If it's a piece I'm playing with everybody, then I'm going to have to watch the director. I wonder if I have any clues that will tell me if this is a solo piece or a piece I'm going to play with other people. Well, I look up, I see up at the top here, I see it says first cornet. You know, I'm inferring now that if there's a first cornet, there's probably a second cornet. And if there's a second cornet, then that tells me it's an ensemble piece. Wow, I'm back to solving problems again. That's pretty good. I'm solving my own problems, which tells me that fermata is going to be one of those fermatas that I'm going to have to watch the conductor for to figure out how long I'm going to have to hold it for. I'm going to go back to my bookmark now. So I've identified a problem. There are probably some others that I could find. I've fixed a problem. I've made some comparisons. I've also made some comments. That's number 6. There are a couple of things I haven't quite done yet. Picturing the text is something. Now, it doesn't really make sense to me to picture a piece of musical text. that poses another problem for me. If it doesn't do me any good to picture a musical text, I wonder what would be better than picturing in terms of a musical text. Well, if a musical text is intended to get across musical information, then maybe what I should be doing is trying to get a sense of what this piece sounds like. And I can do that with the information that I have here because although I might not be able to figure out what those pitches are exactly, I can tell how long those notes are because I know what quarter notes are. I know what half notes are. And I can tell they're going up or down because